Yeah, I've been through the shadows, walked in the night, seen the world get heavy, try to crush my light. The hope keeps burning deep in my soul, the flame that won't fade, yeah, it keeps me whole. When life gets rough and the clouds roll in, hope is the anchor that pulls me again. In the darkest of times, when all seems lost, hope breaks through no matter the cost. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. They say light can't shine without a little dark. Hope's that spark, yeah, it ignites the heart. When the path ain't clear and the road feels long, hope gives me strength, makes me strong. I've seen despair try to steal my fight, but hope keeps pushing like day through night. It's a voice in my head saying keep going strong, tells me I'm right where I belong. Hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes dim and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies, it shines through the pain, through every storm, every drop of rain. When the world goes and I'm down to my knees, hope lifts me up, sets my spirit free. Hope's like the sun after endless rain. It's a light that heals, it's a balm for pain. It don't fade, don't break, don't bend. It's the beat of my heart, my forever friend. So when I'm lost, I look to the sky. Hope's in the stars, it's the reason why. Why I stand, why I rise, why I keep on fighting. Hope's my armor when the world starts biting. It whispers, hold on, don't give up yet. Through every tear, through every regret, hope's the fire that never goes out. Through every struggle, every doubt, through every struggle, every doubt, hope never dies.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We're back again with another late night stream. I am the dust at the feet of God's servants. Only God is special. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you are having an amazing evening. It is Friday. Some of you might be out and about doing your thing. So watch it when you get a chance. Otherwise, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So today's conversation is going to be about this UK euthanasia law that's coming into place. I thought it'd be an interesting look, an angle to take at something, especially from the spiritual perspective that I have, if you could call it a spiritual perspective, the perspective I have. So yeah, going to go through a couple of clips of videos of where people are talking about why they're upset with euthanasia, see what we can understand, see if we could come up to some idea of how we feel about it. Well, I have a I have a vague idea of how I feel about it, but I want to see if there's any ideas or things presented that I did not think about, and if I will change my position. So position at the moment is, it's a tough one to decide on. From the bits I've read into where they're like, oh, you have to have like at least 6 months. The doctors are giving you only 6 months. That's like the minimum. So if it's like years the doctors are giving you, you don't qualify for this. It's literally months, and it's typically terminally ill people. So yeah, it's a tough one to decide because you want to give the people a bit of dignity in the last days. You don't want them, I think watching someone deteriorate on a bed, no matter how much you love them, isn't going to be good for someone if they are at the end, because the thing is, if we're talking about drugs that end your life, we also have to then talk about the drugs that prolong your life. You know what I mean? And how much involvement we should have there. Um, because there's a lot of drugs that keep people going, keep blood pressure down, this, that, the other. It's like, where do you start drawing the line? Like, if you go one way or the other, if you're like, oh no, you can't get involved, it's like, all right, cool, we won't get involved, but how far do you not want to get involved? And then if you do get involved, it's like, okay, now where do you draw the line here? Like, is 6 months, 7 months? Is it a couple of months? Is it maybe if it's a kid? Maybe if the doctor's wrong? Like, you never know the situation. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting little dynamic to have a look at. So we're going to have a look at a couple of videos. But that's my perspective at the moment. We'll see if it changes. I know that there was a lot of people going to, I think it was Switzerland, for assisted dying, and there was a big thing about that years ago. But now they're trying to bring it over here, and I think Canada's got something similar to this as well. So yeah, this is something that's starting to spread. This idea of assisted dying. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Let's figure it out. Yeah, and I did terminally ill and the mentally ill both being euthanized. Okay, so yeah, if other people start going, oh, mentally ill people, then it's like, okay, what do you define as mentally ill? And then everything starts going into gray area. This is the downside of even talking about this kind of assisted dying or even having this as an option, is that the slippery slope it could go down when you don't have the right values behind it, the right people behind it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, and it could be abused by people in power. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, that person we wanted to get rid of, yeah, they signed some kind of assisted dying bill. Yeah, yeah, they had cancer. They didn't tell anyone, you know. It's a private thing, but yeah, but they're dead now, which is a shame. But good for us because now they're out of our way and we can do what we have, whatever we wanted to do, you know, with these political games that people are always playing. So yeah, it's a very slippery slope when you come down to it. Even in I saw on somebody's channel today. I was surprised to hear this actually. I think it's in Sweden. They've got rid of or cured or resolved the issue with Down syndrome. Basically, parents are just having abortions as soon as they find out that the kids have got Down syndrome, which is quite horrific when you think about it. It's like, yeah, yeah. It's just like, oh, okay, we don't want that baby. He's not good enough for us. Get rid of it. Try again. Yeah, yeah. So it's a slippery slope, and you want to know where the world is going with this because this is serious stuff when you're talking about life and death situations. Hmm. Yeah, that is a very good point. That is a really, really good point. A lot of people just taking the option out of fear of fighting the fight against whatever issues they have. Yeah, I did check in the. So I'll give you a quick little thing on what the actual law states, because I pulled it up here. It's not that one. It was this one here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. You got to be over 18 and live in England, Wales. But you have to be registered with a GP for at least 12 months. 12 months minimum. I think that's a bit too short for something like this. I think the GP that is signing off on this should be with them for a lot longer than 12 months. But obviously, maybe some people get caught with late stage cancer, and I guess they don't get the opportunity to be with that GP for very long because they probably don't make it very far. Have the mental capacity to make the choice and be deemed to have expressed a clear, settled, and informed wish free from coercion or pressure. So I like that one with the mental capacity and free from thingy, but obviously, if people don't, like during the COVID situation, there's people that were refusing to take the jabs, me being one of them. Could have been classed as one of these people that was a danger to everyone else because I refused to take it, and then people could have then said that I have not got the mental capacity and then forced medical treatment. You know what I mean? People can make stories fit their narrative, whatever narrative they want. So yeah, that's the danger with that situation with the whole mental capacity thing. It's like, okay, where do you draw the line with mental capacity? If someone's got depression, does that mean they've not got the mental capacity to make these decisions? If someone's got anxiety, do they have not? Do you know what I mean? There's all these different mental conditions that a person generally suffers from. Where do you draw the line in regards to mental capacity there? If it's just about like not being a vegetable, does that mean that people who are in a vegetative state where they're not allowed to get this kind of treatment? Like, I guess not, because they're not terminally ill, but I don't know. This opens so many different questions. Anyway, be expected to die within 6 months. Make 2 separate declarations, witnessed and signed about their wish to die, and satisfy 2 independent doctors they are eligible. That there's probably a few other things, bits and pieces, but those are the main things. Even when this were to happen, because they're still passing the laws and still going through the whole motions, they're suggesting that the doctor doesn't give the injection. He just kind of supplies the drugs and then the person injects themselves. So that's just a roundup situation of what we're talking about, as she mentions a very, very important point of other people outside of this sphere who may have a chance. Because I've got some statistics as well from the I've got some statistics in regards to doctors getting these kind of things correct. Like when they say to someone you've got 6 months to live, how accurate are they? You know what I mean? Because that's very important in this discussion. If you're talking about ending someone's life here, you have to talk about the accuracy and the efficacy. I think that's a good word, efficacy, of the test that they do in order to gain this understanding of how much time they've got to live. Let me just Google efficacy. I think I use it correctly, but I just want to make sure. Efficacy, meaning the ability to produce or desired or intended result. Yeah. Yes, I think that's what I meant. Perfect. So I did see Come On in the chat. Welcome back, Come On. Good to see you back, buddy. I hope you're feeling well, Bar. Says, I'm glad I don't have children. Many take their lives every day, and they ask no one. The force was strong in those who did not take the Jabba the Hutt. yeah, no Jabba the Hutt here. And not even one. Not even. Well, the COVID ones, no. Because the thing is, we'll touch on it slightly since I'm the one who brought up COVID vaccine situation. I'll touch on it slightly. With the COVID vaccine thing, like, I have no issue with vaccines. I've taken vaccines. When I took my job where I was flying around the world, I had to get vaccinated. Yellow fever, this, that, and the other, whatever those rubella, whatever all those exotic ones that you need to take before you go to these places like Africa, I had to take them all. So I have no issue with conventional vaccines. It was just this whole new thing and the way they're doing it with the RNA. We could probably do a stream on that in the future, going into the how RNA works and stuff like that, and why it was best not to go down that route, personally speaking. I'm still alive. I didn't die. Or did I? Maybe I died. Did I die of COVID? Damn. Nope, didn't die. So yeah. This is the thing with medicine. They can be wrong, and this is why I talk about the efficacy of the results. Whether they are the right results because of the right tests done correctly and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's carry on with this video, because she's made a massive great point, because people get lost in despair, and this is why even I started this video, today's video, I started it with the song Hope, because I want people to have hope. Come on says, I've had them too, don't take malaria tablets. Yeah, I've never taken malaria tablets, but yeah, I've had all the other jabs. Mm. Oh wow, that is insane. What he needed was support from his community. He didn't need that. That is insane. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, once we start going down this slope, it's like we don't know where we'll end up. So it's like it's best not to get close to this slope. Yeah, I guess there's always the right to refuse treatment. You know, they always have the right to refuse treatment, and to then, like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't prefer a slow and prolonged death over months, but if that's what was to happen, that was to happen. I'd appreciate every second extra I get with family, I guess. Even if it is painful to be there, you know what I mean? Because life is awesome. Uh, mm. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Would you, if you were in a situation where you were going to be having a very prolonged death, which could take months, would you rather it be over an instant, or would you want to bear through the pain and go when you go? How would you guys feel? Let me know. Okay, we'll do a little poll just for the ninjas. Would you take the red pill or the blue pill? I guess. Euthanize or not to euthanize. Would you take the option? So we all know what we're talking about. If you were in a situation where you were having potentially a very long and prolonged death, would you personally want to have the option there. Oh, we got one no. Straight nope. Nope. Mhm. I like the fact that it's a balanced discussion because when I clicked on this link for this actual video, I thought it was going to be coming from the angle of why it's wrong, because I was going to then go to the news, which I thought would be more balanced, which I'm guessing is going to be the other way around, actually, because this seems to be like an independent journalist kind of guy who just makes YouTube videos and asks these interview questions to these people. So, um, yeah, very very nice conversation, very balanced. I'm liking it. It doesn't seem to be like trying to shove it down your throat. Like this is the answer. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to believe. It's more of a yeah, we could see this and we could see that, and even they're giving their own personal opinions on where the lady was like, yeah, she's even thinking about it when she's getting older. Like, what would she want to do? Come on, says we must this world as we face fear. We must face this world as we face fear. I guess you're trying to say we must, when we face ourselves, must face. Okay, when we face ourselves, we must face fear in this world. Sorry, my brain. It's all good. Space cake. It's all good. Space cake. I'm gonna call you Space Cake from now on. Come on. Death will come fast enough without going early. No, for sure. But I think something has to be said about when you are literally deteriorating day by day and it is literally a matter of time and there is no coming back. I can understand the appeal, like, listen, it's a done deal. Instead of putting the family through, like, personally, as I'm thinking, I wouldn't want to put the family through, as much as I'd love life and I love seeing them and I'd love every breath I take, I wouldn't want to put them in a position where they're having to watch me die slowly, excruciatingly slowly, over a very long period of time. I think in that regard, I can understand that perspective too. Yeah, like I said, this one was a tough one. That's what I said. I was like, it's tough. It's tough. I could see both sides at the beginning. I couldn't firmly stand on one side or the other. I do think that it shouldn't be just done willy-nilly for sure. It should be done with super serious gloves and without idiots in charge. And we need to sort out the whole NHS system first. We need to sort out the whole politicians first. We need to sort all that stuff out before we start talking about assisted dying. That's what I think personally. What in regards to its benefits and its disadvantages. But yeah, I guess they've jumped the gun and want to talk about it nowadays. So let's find out why. Space Kick says, yeah, lol, they work. Yeah. I tried them a few times and they did nothing for me. But maybe I need to get stronger ones in future. Space Cake says, I watched my sister. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Damn. Hope you're all right, man. Seems like you're able to share it, so I guess you're doing much better with it. It's probably a little while ago now or something, but yeah, still sorry to hear that, man. Must have been tough. Yeah, it is life. It is life. No, I hear that. I hear that. You good. It just makes you appreciate all those seconds that you had with them even more, because you're like, oh, damn, that was quick. Like people say life is quick all the time, but when you experience it firsthand, you're like, yeah, cool, yeah, you have to appreciate every second you can, for sure. Well, thanks for sharing that, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so there's been situations where people have been able to do it without having to change the law. So yeah, if it's been able to be done without changing the law, then why change the law for such a small percentage of people that it would truly affect? Like it opens up floodgates for, like we heard with the autistic kids in Netherlands. We talked about the Down syndrome children in regards to um, abortion. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Before you know, it's like, oh yeah, let's get rid of the Muslims. Let's give them an injection. You know, uh, look, they signed a piece of paper. You know what I mean? It could be anything, especially with all these reform wanting to come in the future. So it's like, what's the government setting up with all this assisted dying? You're gonna get assisted dying put in, and then you're gonna get reform put in, and what are you trying to achieve? What's your plan, mate? So yeah, it's a bit confusing, but also alarming. It should be alarming for most people. It's like, why are they pushing this right now? What's the agenda? If, like this gentleman said, people are still able to do it. If they really, really need to go to, they go to Switzerland, whatever. Um, hmm. It's a tough one. It is a tough one because, like I said, I do get it. Some people may not be able to travel. They're that sick. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. If I knew more about the law, maybe then I'd understand it a little bit more in regards to why they may want to change the law, make it easier, as it were. In the poll, we've got one yes, one no. Okay. Would you take the option, yes or no? If you were at the end of your life, coming towards the last couple of months, and you were just going to deteriorate slowly and die slowly, would you take the option for euthanasia and have assisted death? Or would you want to hold on for every second and go when it's time to go? Au natural, as it were. Uh, yeah, drop your votes in. We've got 2 votes at the moment. Also, while you guys are here, subscribe if you're new, like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video, share the video if you think anyone would be interested in this conversation. Do your thing. We got Space Cake said acceptance. We grow from these experiences. Yes, for sure we do, but it's still never easy. This yeah, we grow from these experiences, but they're still not easy. We still go through the emotional turmoil. We still experience the situation for what it is. But yeah, we do try and grow from them as much as we can. Geisha, welcome back, says, holy madness. Come on, says, we say hello and goodbye to everything in this world the way it is. Yes, it is. Yep. One of my favorite songs from when I was growing up was all that glitters in this world is sure to fade. because it does. This world will always fade in certain regards, but with that knowledge, we also understand there is always a spring. There is always a spring. As much as there is an autumn and a winter, there is a spring, and and a summer. There's still a spring and a summer as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, we grow from these experiences, but we also remember to say hello and goodbye to the spring, summer, winter, and autumn. All phases. All phases. It's all part of life. Geisha says assisted suicide is thelmic barbarism. What does thelmic mean? Is it like Thelma and Louise? Is thelmic like the Thelma equation? The Thelma equation. E equals MC squared dash no assisted suicide. I don't know. I tried. Space Geek says ships come and go and some pass by you and some stop. Yes, no, 100%, bro. 100%, bro. I get it. Yeah, no, I say this all the time. My way of saying it is we're on our little spirals. We're on our little path. We're on our little journey. And sometimes some people will come for a little while. Let's see. Sorry, I can't see what I'm seeing. There we go. Some people will come for a little while. Sometimes some people will come join you for a long time and then they split up. They go with you for a long time. Oop, there you go, around and then back up and then they go off and then you go off. And yeah, this is life. 100%. I understand, bro. But yeah, still tough. But like I said, the emotional and the understanding of the whole situation still, you still go through those experiences, you still have those memories, you still, live with it. But yeah, you do grow from it and you do appreciate life more from these situations, 100%. Space Cake says it could be a bus. There be no time. I shall go out with the bang. Oh, that would be the best way to go. That would be the best way to go in some kind of epic fight or something. Yeah, go out with a bang. Honestly, like for me, when I was growing up, this is gonna sound so self-conceited or so up myself, and I'm sorry of how bad it sounds, but it's just true. It is just true. But pretty much all my life, I grew up just thinking that if my life was to be given to help someone, worth it. Definitely worth a life. Just to actually help someone else out or help people out, whatever kind of thing. So I always thought that would be a good death, regardless of whatever it was. So yeah, shouldn't be afraid of death. It's the one guarantee we have in life. It's the only guarantee we have in life. As soon as you come into life, it's like, go, guess what? One day you're gonna die, guaranteed. But it's fine. It's fine. Your spirit lives on. Your spirit lives on. Geisha says, go with the flow of life, expiration date. Okay, sweet. So, you haven't voted, have you, Geisha? Because I think Kamon voted no. Someone else voted yes. And I'm guessing you haven't voted no yet. Come on, Geisha, get involved. I need more votes. I don't know what for, but it's just nice to see more votes on there. Space Cake says, I love that name, Space Cake. I'm going to try and remember that from now on. Space Cake says, who said life would be easy? Exactly. Nobody. And the best things in life don't come easy. The best things in life never come easy. It comes with a bit of struggle. All that glitters is not gold. Yeah, that's another good one. There's also don't eat yellow snow. That's another good one. Geisha, yeah, still Thelma. I don't know, bro. What is it? What's thelmic? Sounds so complicated. It sounds like I need to understand like 4 different subjects in order to understand thelmic. Geisha says, honestly, when I reach 86, I will see to direct my own theatrical play. Oh, cool. 86. Why do you want to wait until then? Why wait until then? You could do it at any point. But that'd be cool. Theatrical play. I used to do drama. I love drama. Drama was awesome. I think I've got a DVD here somewhere from a college musical that I was in, and I can't sing for shit. But I was in a college musical where I sang. I was a bit of a comic relief character. I know there's a CD around here somewhere. I've got the DVD here somewhere. I think I might have to find that, and if I'm allowed to, maybe we could watch it together. Or maybe I'll just clip it for my stupid performance part. That'll be fun. We'll see. We'll see how I feel with that. Space Cake says the world started with a big bang. Yes, and that's the way to go. Geisha says abstain from voting, though democracy is an illusion according to the Buddha. Geisha, it's not a democracy. It's just a way for me to gauge what the audience is thinking. Just that's it. There is no your vote here doesn't change anything in regards to whether it happens or it doesn't happen. It's purely just for my own understanding of, okay, what's the audience feeling? Space Cake says democracy is an illusion. Geisha says theatre place for elder geezers. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. What kind of style? Because I know there's like loads of different styles to theatre as well. Do you have a particular favorite, or are you just gonna decide when you get older? Are you gonna be more into it as you learn more bits and pieces for it? Space Cake says, who needs to vote on what is good? Exactly, you don't need to vote on what is good. It's just where you personally stand on the situation. That's all it is. Have I seen the curious incident of the dog in the nighttime theatre shop? Nope, definitely not. I've seen Woman in Black and something else. Let me just check something. Oh my days! All this time, I was watching this video thinking that it was on screen, and it wasn't even on screen all this time, and none of you told me. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, basically, this was the video I was watching. I thought you guys could see it too. Sorry, my bad. It is what it is. You were just watching my face watching it. Oh, you guys are funny. You guys are funny. All right, back to the video.
Where a doctor would give more pain relief than was actually necessary, perhaps in the interests of the patient not suffering, or they would up a dose to a relatively dangerous level. That doesn't happen so much now partially because of the legal spotlight that assisted suicide actually shines on the death scene. It was much better before, when it was a fairly private affair. And I think this is one of the problems I have with legalized assisted suicide. It brings the legal spotlight and shines it on down to the deathbed scene.
What do you think of that? Is that a legitimate argument that that we already, as British people, have access to this, but it's just not a state or a law?
Ooh, okay, no, that sounds dodgy. That sounds super dodgy. It's like, hey, we liked it when there was less regulations. We get away with a lot more. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, that would even be worse. It's like, okay, people doing this without zero oversight and zero repercussions, and it's insane. It's insane. Damn. Okay. I guess it isn't better at the moment.
Law?
I'm afraid I would respectfully disagree with that for a number of reasons. So first, I think many palliative care doctors would dispute the fact that this is going on anyway. that they're giving levels of pain relieving drugs, for example, in quantities to kill people. So it's a contested idea that that's happening. So there's definitely disagreement there.
Okay.
But also, I think if you think something is acceptable, for it to go on in the shadows where there can't be any scrutiny, you can't have second opinions because the doctor is risking prosecution. You can't have openness. You can't collect data to find out what's going on. Doesn't seem to me to be a very sensible way of dealing with an issue.
A lot of the time, critics of assisted dying programs bring up MAID in Canada. Canada has one of the more expansive systems of sort of euthanasia, and it's one where there are plans to potentially widen it to include people with long-standing mental health problems. Is MAID...
Damn, see, extending it to mental health, that's an issue. Once you introduce something like this and then it starts getting extended and then extended and then extended, it's like every other kind of right. It's like now you have your right to die, you know? You have your right to die when your time is right, when God decides it's your time, it's your time. That's your right to die. Now they're going, no, we'll take that right away from you. We tell you when you die. Yeah, see, I don't like it. I don't like how out far this reaches, and it can reach. Sounds dodgy as hell.
A good example of a euthanasia program.
So I think what it's a good example of is the fact that different countries can choose to legislate for this in different ways. There are lots of different models for assisted dying legislation, and it's up to a country which is thinking about legalizing assisted dying to look at those models and think about what is best for them. So the fact that there are countries with more expansive eligibility criteria, and those would be Canada, Netherlands and Belgium, doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. There are also lots of other countries, for example, Australia and New Zealand, with much more restrictive criteria. There's quite a lot of evidence in Canada of public support for MAID, because I think as people experience their loved ones having peaceful deaths through assisted dying, you tend to get more people thinking, well, this is not just some scary thing that happened somewhere else, but something that happens in my community and which some people can see people have benefited from. So I'm not sure it would be true to say that everybody in Canada thinks that MAID is terrible at all.
Canada is a sort of negative poster child, if you like, for euthanasia and assisted suicide, in that you've seen the numbers rise absolutely dramatically. You've seen all of the
that was way too quick.
Euthanasia and assisted suicide, in that you've seen the numbers rise absolutely.
That is insane. The amount of people taking assisted suicide. 10,000 people. 10,000 people in 2021. So it's gone up now. So if it's going up by that much every time, it must be at least 18,000, 20,000 people now this year. I guess I can understand why the elites, the people in charge, want this to happen, because they're always talking about population control, right? They're always saying, oh, there's too many people. People need to stop having babies. So they're like, all right, cool. People stop having babies, and those people who could live a little bit longer will, you know, just shorten theirs a little bit, and we'll keep the age range that, you know, is able to work. Damn. That's insane. That's scary.
Absolutely dramatically. You've seen all of the promised safeguards just thrown off by the wayside. The cases coming out of Canada. I mean, of course, if you say this is medical treatment for unbearable suffering, anybody who's suffering unbearably, and of course, that's an entirely subjective thing. The doctor can't tell you you're suffering or you're not suffering. That's up to you. So if a person is suffering as they have been from poverty, how can they really tell somebody, well, you're not suffering enough to get an assisted death? If the laws come through in Britain, there's every chance that that will happen there too. Canada is just the most egregious example, but it has expanded. The criteria have expanded everywhere where it's been legalized, even Oregon, which is the sort of positive poster child.
Yeah, see, wherever it's legalized, it gets expanded. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger into whatever the hell they're trying to pull off at the moment with this dumbness. That is insane. What are you guys thinking? You think he'll be all right? Do you think trust the government? You're like, oh, don't worry, he'll be fine. You know, they're looking out for our best interests. You know, they helped us during COVID. They gave us these vaccines for free. Are you one of those ones? Or are you a bit more like, what's going on here, mate? Oh, what's going on here? Kicking the old tires, shall we? Let's see what's really going on.
For many people trying to pass legislation here.
One of the big questions with assisted dying is which groups of people should be allowed to use those systems. So I guess the common example is a terminally ill patient who's going to be dying soon anyway. But then there are some people who argue that essentially anyone who deeply feels that they want their life to end should be able to seek that in a dignified manner. For you, where is that line drawn?
So I think it's probably somewhere between those two extremes. But I understand the impulse to say it should only be available to people who are near the end anyway. The problem with that, though, is that there are people who are suffering unbearably who you wouldn't categorise as terminally ill. So I think if you restrict it to the terminally ill, you're going to have people who will feel aggrieved that it's not an option for them. And if I could take an example, one of the most significant legal cases in the UK was a case from a few years ago involving somebody called Tony Nicholson, and it went all of the way to the Supreme Court. And he died before the Supreme Court hearing. He stopped eating and drinking. He wouldn't have qualified for an assisted death with a terminal illness requirement. But there was absolutely no doubt that he was suffering truly intolerably. So I think if you restrict it to people who are terminally ill, you are going to have people who are missed by that. On the other extreme that you gave me, is anybody who thinks that there should be an option for them. I don't think that would be acceptable. And the reason for that is that doctors are healthcare professionals who have various obligations as a result of that role. I think the doctor has to share the patient's view that their suffering has become intolerable and unbelievable, that there's nothing you can do to make that better before it becomes acceptable for a doctor to help a patient to die.
If you're going to provide this for one group of people, you've got to provide it for all if you want to be seen to be equal, which I think most of us who count themselves as liberals do. So I think that's the real problem, is that it will expand simply because it's logical for it to expand. Of course, a 28-year-old who's heartbroken over a lost love affair, it wants that for themselves as well. And I can't see that there's a moral way of saying that's less legitimate than you're suffering over there. And this is one of the problems with it. Categorizes life as of differential value. So in homicide laws, if you have somebody murders an 86-year-old who doesn't value their life, it's no less wicked an act than murdering a 24-year-old who has everything to live for. It's the killing it's the taking of a human life that's wrong. We probably all feel like suicidal at some stage of our lives. That's just the nature of things. And we rely on other people to help us out there, and not to sort of, well, if you're feeling suicidal, let me help you. I think that's what we risk losing as a society, is our connection to other people and our commitment to protecting people from violence, and from violence that sometimes comes from themselves as well as from others.
It isn't that there is.
This is such a good conversation. Such a good conversation. Really insightful. I'm really, really enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this too.
One group who for whom this is an option, and one group who isn't, because frankly this is potentially an option for all of us. It's potentially an option for me, certainly, and so the line, I think, is drawn between people who are voluntarily requesting this, who want it, and people who don't want it. And there's no reason why anybody who doesn't want it should have access to it if you have proper safeguards in place to make sure that this is really what somebody wants. And that can be done in all sorts of ways. You can have psychiatric assessments, you can have second opinions, you can have waiting periods, you can have eligibility checks of all different sorts. So all sorts of safeguards you could put in place to make sure this is truly what somebody wants.
Wow, that was really, really good. I'm going to have to give that the iPaper, give that a subscribe and a like. Only 16 likes. What? 520. Oh, it's a month ago. We should have a lot more views on that. Anyways, that was amazing. I really, really enjoyed that. Thank you to the iPaper. Go over there, give them some love, subscribe, watch the video as well in your own time. Yeah, that was a really good conversation. Really, really good. It did bring up some more points I didn't know, that people are doing it now. And they're doing it with a lot less checks. There's a few more countries in the list than I thought there was doing this now as well. Yeah, that is really weird. The fact that everywhere that this gets implemented, they just keep expanding it. They just keep making the circle bigger and bigger for who can apply. That's just dangerous. That is dangerous. There's a lot of people already who are on depression medication, anti-anxiety meds, and all this stuff. Like, to then introduce this without dealing with the issue first is absolutely ludicrous. Like I said, I think we need to resolve the healthcare situation, the social situation. We need to do all these other things before we even look at assisted dying. That is insane that people are thinking about it right now with the state of the world the way it is. Like I said, I understand why the elites would want to go push it in regards to their agenda to depopulate the world. But the regular person, I guess they get talked into it with fear because they want to have a quick and easy death. They don't want to have pain. But yeah, I'm guessing this is where people need to start making a stand and start deciding, actually, do you know what? This is something that we should definitely not let the government get involved in. Death. They're already involved in every other aspect of life, from birth to marriage to your job, your taxes, your everything, your driving license. And now they want to be, they're already going to get the inheritance. They take a piece of the inheritance too, but now they get to decide when you die, potentially. Obviously, that's not what's going on at the moment. That's not the proposed plan, but that's potentially where it can lead to when these things keep expanding, like we've heard with the people who are just depressed, people who are disabled, who've got conditions like the autist kids in Netherlands. So yeah, you don't want to start going down that slippery slope. I think that's my personal view anyway. I wonder what you guys are thinking. Let's see if what you guys think in regards to the situation. Geisha says assisted dying is pharmaceutical fascism. I was thinking about that. I was like, if assisted dying does come in, that means that the pharmaceuticals will be making less money because they tend to make drugs that you have to take for the rest of your life. It's never just a cure kind of drug. It's always just a prolonged care so that they keep selling you the drugs. You can keep needing those drugs. If we do start introducing things that are like, all right, you're going to die, would that mean that these pharmaceuticals will now start having to bring out drugs that actually cure people rather than just prolong or just hide the symptoms? Will it cause, or should we do this in the first place? Should we just step up our game in the first place? Should we not introduce having to kill people before we start looking at ways to actually cure ourselves from the symptom? Cure ourselves from the disease that causes the symptoms rather than just hiding the symptoms. It's the thing the medical world needs to look at and understand where they want to move in the future. Geisha says assisted dying options for SA victims, Netherlands and Canada. What has happened to the government enabling this? I don't know. Apparently Labour's the one that brought it in the UK, and that there was that Tory guy who was opposing it. But the thing is, with the Tories, this is the funny thing. This is why I said they're two sides of the same coin, the Tories and the Labour. Tories come in and they do all these things about 15-minute cities, and they do these things about congestion charge or whatever. They introduce all these things, charges, and basically taxing the poor even more and making it even harder for people to live, pushing people out of the cities. They're doing all this stuff. Then you've got the Labours or the other side that comes in, and then they do all the other social stuff that is going to mess up. So that one side gets blamed for the economy, the other side gets blamed for the social aspect, and it's like, oh, look, you're both to blame. Oh, but it's happened now. And it's like, no, stop what you're doing. Let's stop playing these games. Let's stop doing this BS. You're both playing the same game. You're both walking us to the same place, but you're doing it from the financial side. You're doing it from the social side, and yeah, you're just trying to mess us up. You're not trying to help people grow and become better and come together. You're trying to create more division. So what happened to the government enabling this? Puppets. They're puppets. Geisha says super capitalism. Wow, just wow. Bill Gates. What dreams came to reality? What occurred? Yeah, in regards to the COVID thing. Yeah. Space Cake says they will make money. Yeah. Well, I guess they'll make some money from these death drugs. I guess we could call them death drugs. But they are going to be a lot less money than, I'm guessing, prolonged care. So that's why I'm like, they may make less money in the long term in regards to that. Geisha says, agreed with the white hair doctor. The slippery slope that assisted dying has on society. Yeah. Geisha says, okay, the man, you convinced me to vote on the poll. So clear no. Awesome. Thank you, Geisha. Appreciate it, bro. Geisha says, video game elites, they think poor people can respawn from their bed. That was funny. I like that. Thank you, Geisha. I like the video game humor. I really like that video game. What was it? Well, there's a movie I liked, which is related to the respawn thing. The movie is Groundhog Day. He keeps respawning in bed. But then, like the movie I was thinking of was Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds, where he's a game character who's a bank teller who then becomes aware of the fact that he's in a game. Yeah, because I think he respawns as well or something. But yeah, a nice reference. Geisha says, "Aren't we living in crypto fascism already?" I think that's what they want. They just want to take it from physical currency to digital currency, and then they go, "Oh, look, this is a new world." It's like, no. It's not just. That's not how you change the world just by changing the currency. No, that's how you try and control the world. Yes, but it's not how you change the world, and it's not how you get free from, like, financially free. That's not how you do it. Crypto, I think, is a scam. Personally, I think it will fail. Because don't forget, it is always computer generated. It's always like reliant on computers. One big solar flare from the sun, poof, all the cryptocurrency in the world gone. So then people will be going back to these minerals and stuff like that, things that they can hold and trade and barter, things that they can use, in life. Yeah, it's just whether people want to get to that stage before a solar flare forces them into a stage of, all right, cool, let's just be fair with what we're trading, the value of this to the value of that, blah, 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 rather than extort each other because I can make a quick buck and then I can live like a king instead of doing all that BS. Space Cake says, every breath we take, they will want to tax. Yes, exactly. Have you not? Oh, my days. I'm going to see if I can find a video on this. It was absolutely hilarious when I saw it. Like you're not going to believe it. You're going to think it's a joke. It was an April Fool's or something. But honestly, this is legit. All right, so yep, share that one there. So there's this thing called bottled air.
I was just frolicking around Walmart when I found this bottled air, and it says right here it got 5 liters of pure oxygen. Not gonna lie, it sounds empty. Do you put it like this? Wait, I'm scared. Okay, let's try it out. I was just frolicking around Walmart when...
But essentially, people are selling bottled air. It is absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. So yeah, you're not far off the Space Cake. Every breath we take, they will want to tax as well. Yes, for sure. Every sip we take, every blink, it'll be like, oh, you blinked. Oh, your heart's beating. How many beats is it per second? You've just entered the new higher tax bracket. It is insane. There's even that movie. I think it's called In Time with Justin Timberlake and I think it was Mila Kunis. Yeah, Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake. It's where they're like on the wrists. They've got like how much time they've got until they die. And when they go to work, they kind of like get paid by time being added to their lifespan. So poor people will be living day by day. They'll have like a day, get paid at the end of the day for another day's worth of life. As soon as that counter reaches 0, they die. But if they keep that counter full, they could essentially live forever. So yeah, it's kind of like that movie as well. It's like, yeah. Geisha says Boss Level, also a great film. He respawns from bed as an ex-CIA SEAL muscle man. Oh, that sounds fun. Boss Level. I think it sounds familiar. I'm not going to lie. I think I have seen it. But if it's the movie I'm thinking of, I think it's definitely worth another watch. Boss Level. Awesome. Thanks for the heads up or the reminder on that movie. Thank you, Geisha. Appreciate you. All right, cool. So we'll watch a quick video from the news and we'll see how the news deal with this situation of assisted dying. Let's see what perspective they've taken, whether they are in Are they being impartial on the news, or are they literally just puppets for the people in charge? Let's find out, shall we? Let's find out.
The ayes to the right, 330. The noes to the left, 275.
The ayes to the right, 330. The noes to the left, 275. The ayes have it, the ayes have it. And look!
Wow, that wasn't a massive difference in votes either. 300 to 200 something. That's not a massive, like, it's not a landslide. It's not something you can say, oh yeah, everyone's definitely. But I'm guessing the split is going to be essentially Conservative and Labour. And because Labour has more seats, I guess that's how they pass. I think that's how this UK law system works.
Right, does the member in charge of the bill wish to move the motion number 2, Kinley?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Public Bill Committee, to which the Terminally Ill Adults End-of-Life Bill stands committed, shall have the power to send for persons, papers and records.
Some
Understanding
MPs
order
have
number
voted
63
in
brackets
favour
2.
of the
I also
assisted
now put
dying
the
bill.
Question forthwith. The question is that the Public Bill Committee, to which the Terminally Ill End-of-Life Bill stands committed, shall have the power to send for persons, papers and records. And many of that opinion say aye. Aye. The contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it.
All right, so I don't think that's actually the news reporting on it. That's actually them just showing what happened. So I'm going to share this one instead. I think this one will be a bit of video to review because it seems like he'll actually talk about it.
Assisted dying become legal in the UK? That's what British lawmakers are debating ahead of a vote today. As the debate got underway, demonstrators opposing the...
Oh, it's an American guy. Cool. Okay, we'll get the American perspective. American perspective.
The idea of assisted dying started gathering outside the Parliament in London. Observers are expecting protests in support of the bill too. The contentious topic has split UK society for years, but recent polls suggest a majority of Britons now favour changing the law. The bill would allow adults who are terminally ill to get assistance in ending their own life. Advocates of...
Did he say majority? He said majority there, didn't he?
The bill would allow adults who are terminally ill to split UK society for years, but recent polls suggest a majority of Britons now favour changing the law.
Wow, a majority. Interesting. The poll that I've taken here shows it's definitely not the majority from my small sample size. It's definitely not the majority. Is that a bit of script that they're trying to push into people's heads? Oh yeah, everyone wants this. You know, these people are just complaining. The majority want it. Yeah, see, I don't like these angles already. I like the other guy. The other guy, eye paper. Fantastic reporting. This, loaded already. So loaded, and we're only like 30 seconds in.
The bill would allow adults who are terminally ill to get assistance in ending their own life. Advocates of assisted dying have long fought for such a law. TW's Birgit Maas met with some of them.
A painless death for those who want it. That's what these campaigners in Bath and the south of England are fighting for. They are supporting a proposed law that enables terminally ill people to be assisted to end their own lives. It's a cause close to Sophie Pendett's heart.
Okay, so straight off the bat, they are on the side of assisting because they are following these guys around, unless they, by some miracle, also follow around the people who are anti. So, and they give them as much support and coverage and show them in a good light as well, as much as possible. Let's find out.
When my mother wanted an assisted death, even though we knew it was against the law, you know, our morality was to support her and enabled her to have a death free of suffering.
Sophie's mother, Anne, had been diagnosed with a rare brain disorder that would eventually have made her completely dependent on others. She tried to take her own life, then decided to travel to Switzerland, where assisted dying is legal. Her 3 children went with her, knowing this would be their final days and hours as a family. Sophie says their mother died before her time because she needed to be fit enough to make the journey.
We had to do it in a foreign country. If assisted dying...
Yeah, I said that earlier. Some people can't make it across overseas to where they can do it because of not being fit enough. But yeah, but as a news report, this is coming straight from the emotional side. Emotional. Oh, this is why you should agree to this. Like emotionally, it's not a very. I get it. Trust me, I get it. It's sad, and I'm not saying that it's not sad and it's not emotional. I'm just saying that this argument isn't just a pure emotional one. This is obviously one which is about many different aspects: morality, spirituality, what was the other one I was just thinking of? Morality, spirituality, and ethics, and all sorts. There's like so many different layers to this that we have to look at, and it's not just an emotional one.
Dying had been legal in this country. She would have known that she could die at home in this country. She could die with her friends and family around her should she wish. And it also would have meant that she most likely would have died later on in her illness.
But some people are against changing the law. Disability rights campaigner Phil Friend is afraid that disabled people could be coerced into an assisted death.
Society sees disabled people as people who are dependent, as people who are vulnerable. And basically what that means is that they take a view that my life isn't as worth living as theirs is. So if I get really ill, it would be a kindness, wouldn't it, to let me go?
The new law proposes safeguards against such coercion. 2 doctors and a judge would need to approve the death. But this does not convince Phil. He has lived with...
I'm just going to tell you a quick story that it just reminded me. J-Fu, welcome back. Welcome back. Are you sticking around this time? What do you mean by 9? J-Fu, you're funny, man. You come on and you say these things, you disappear, and then you give no explanation, and you just come on today and gone 9. Oh, you're funny. But yeah, it just reminded me of a story, actually. I saw this on YouTube a couple of days ago, well before I've even decided to make this YouTube video, which is kind of coincidental because it ties in quite nicely. It was about a gentleman who was a kid. He was a kid, normal kid, and then all of a sudden he started getting really ill, and before you knew it, he was bedridden and he couldn't leave his bed. He was disabled. He had completely paralyzed. Everyone thought he was pretty much brain dead. And there was this clip of his mum saying on this interview, she was like, I told him to his face, I wish you would die. But she thought he wasn't there. She thought he's gone. And he was like that for about a good 20 years or something. I can't remember the exact timings. It was just a little clip thing. It was very condensed. And they may not have said how long he was like that, but it was only until he became an adult later on in life that he actually started recovering. And he actually then, people realized, oh, he was awake and aware throughout that entire period where he was essentially in a vegetative state, where people were like, he's non-responsive, he's not there, he's not there, he's not there. Only bring that up to say, if we had this law in place back then when his mum's sitting there saying to him, I wish you would die, guess what would have happened to him with these people around him? He would have been ended up dead. Right now he's married. Yes, he's in a wheelchair, but he's actually living life. He's married, he's got kids, he's living life. He still has the opportunity at life. You know? So yeah. That's always the other side to this. It's always going to be the other side. It's like, no, all life doesn't have to be the same. Everyone doesn't have to be fully abled or whatever. Like some situation might happen where I lose my hand. Like I said the other day, gangrene. If I had a situation, boom, that's it, hand gone. Does that mean that now my life is now terrible because I lost a hand? I can't do all the things I used to do. I should go assisted. No, you know, you learn to adjust the best you can. And people need that ability to grow and fight against it. If they have this idea of assisted suicide, I think people would, like the guy said in the previous documentary, one of the first things they said is that people are going to take the easy option. People will always try and take the easy option in life. Even with this whole spiritual stuff, the righteous path stuff I talk about, people are always like, oh, yeah, cool, that's nice and everything, but what's the answer to this? What's the answer to that? It's like, no, go do the righteous path walk stuff. Stop looking for shortcuts. The righteous path is the shortcut. But yeah, I had to divert it back to the righteous path somehow. Anyway, let's carry on with the rest of this news article.
With disability and the discrimination that he says has come with it since he contracted polio at the age of 3. He feels he needed to constantly fight for his rights and does not completely trust the medical establishment.
So how are 2 doctors who don't know me supposed to assess whether I'm being coerced or not? Whether people are leaning on me to take the medication? They won't. And doctors aren't trained to look at coercion. That's a very skilled job.
Phil says the proposed law pits his autonomy and desire to live against someone else's autonomy and wish to have a pain-free death. He would rather have resources diverted into better palliative care.
Yep.
Sophie Pandit is convinced that it is cruel to deny people a death without suffering. A moral dilemma that UK lawmakers will have to examine very carefully.
For more on this dilemma, let's cross over to London, where DW's Birgit Maas is standing by. Birgit,
So they talked about the pros, and they did talk about the guy who's disabled. So I guess it is fairly balanced in regards to both sides being heard.
She's following today's debate from outside the House of Commons. Birgit, assisted dying is a hugely controversial topic. How is it being debated in the UK Parliament?
Where I am, emotions are really running high. So behind me, you can see a lot of disability rights campaigners. They are demonstrating for MPs not to change the law, take more time, divert more resources into palliative care. However, if you just walk along a little bit further behind Parliament, opposite Big Ben, there are a lot of campaigners who want the MPs to change the law. Most of them, a lot of them are motivated by having loved ones they saw them dying, often a very painful death, and they are arguing that it should be up to the individual to decide if they're terminally ill, how they want to die. And MPs are debating this also with a lot of emotion. A lot of MPs inside the House, where the debate is actually now taking place, they haven't made up their mind yet because they understand both sides of the argument. So it's a very intense, emotional subject, and I think it's being debated here in the UK quite subtly.
In a report, Birgit, we heard from a disability campaigner who explained why people with disabilities might feel threatened by this bill. What kind of safeguards are in this bill to address those concerns?
So those MPs and those campaigners who have fought for it.
Yeah, this is good. I like this. That's not a bad little report. They're keeping it balanced as well. So yeah, it looks like it's not being pushed. I guess that's good because you don't want it pushed. But I think that line about how the majority of people want this, I think, is a bit exaggerated. I think that's a bit exaggerated. Cool. I am gonna end the poll there. So we got 4 votes for no, 1 vote for yes in regards to would you take the option. Thanks for voting on that poll, guys. Thanks for letting me know what you're thinking and a general consensus of my little sample size. I've got some results in. Awesome. Thank you. But otherwise, yeah, for me, I don't know. I think that before we start talking about assisted dying and whether we should do it, we should first discuss whether the medical industry has done its best to be there for us in regards to care and actually solving issues rather than hiding symptoms. I think that's the more important thing that people need to look at in regards to going forward. I think, yeah, this whole notion of assisted dying, I don't think we're ready as a civilization to start going down that route, especially the people in charge. I don't think they're wise enough to be able to handle this kind of responsibility with the right level of scrutiny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a good move at the moment. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any ideas I didn't think of. You know, if there's a perspective I've not seen that wasn't presented above, that we've not discussed. Well, yeah, let us know. Let us know. Love to know what you think. Space Cake says, treat the cause, not the effects. Exactly. You want to get to the root of the matter. But otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Talk about life stuffs and what's going on in the world. Should hopefully be back tomorrow with another stream. Hopefully, I actually quite enjoyed this stream because it was interesting. And there was good conversations with you guys. So hopefully we have another good stream tomorrow like this. It'll be Saturday, so might do it a little bit earlier. We won't do a late one. But I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have a lovely evening. Take care, all of you. Love you all. Peace all. Goodbye all. Bye.
I never walked alone. God by my side. Through the valleys of shadow, he's my guide. When the road gets rough and the nights get cold, his love lights the way, worth more than gold. I hear his voice in the wind, his touch in the rain, healing every heartache, erasing the pain. Step by step, I'm walking in his grace. With love in my heart, I'm running this race. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, to the weary lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. Stronger together, united in his name. Walking in love through joy and pain. Every step is a prayer, every path a song. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Let the world see the light that we carry inside. A flame that won't falter with him as our guide. So lift your voice, let's call them home. No one should ever have to walk alone. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, to the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. Let's spread this love, let's make it known. In God's embrace, we're never alone. To the weary and lost, come take my hand. We'll walk together to the promised land. No burden too heavy, no soul too low. When you walk with God, the blessings flow. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in strife, the beacon of hope, the giver of life. He's the anchor in storms, the calm in stride. For real, you always keep him on your mind. Are you ready to move, to walk in the truth, to trade in the lies for eternal proof? Open your heart, let his love ignite, and walk in his glory, bathed in his light. We're calling the nations, we're calling the lost, to walk in his footsteps, whatever the cost. With love in your heart and God in your mind, you'll see the peace that the world can't find. Walk with God, let him lead the way. Feel his peace every single day. Join the stride, let love define. He's with you always, keep him on your mind. So take that step, don't hesitate. With God by your side, your future's great. We're walking together, his love our song. Forever with God, where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, where we all belong. Oh, 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 oh. We all belong. With God in our hearts, we can't go wrong. Look, God in our hearts, we can't go wrong.
Good night, beautiful people.